How does one mere mortal present a princess? And not just any princess, the strongest princess in all of Canterbury. Given Future Princess's status, I couldn't just do a simple spotlight showcasing how she plays and what's not. I don't feel like I could do her justice in that form of video. So today, I'll just have a chat explaining why she is so strong. And not to worry, I will still showcase her abilities on screen, but I'll mostly just be shooting off points on why she will be the best hero in the game for the next 11 months at the very least. If all you want to know is if she is worth pulling, then yes. More than any hero that has come before or will come in the next 11 months, FP is the most valuable hero you can acquire. With that out of the way, let's start with the buy. She is not optimal in raids, but as we probably have so few heroes built, she will do just fine as a stand-in until your account becomes more powerful. And the only other bad point you can give to her is that her range mode is mostly worthless. This will make sense in a bit. So let's talk about Future Princess. She is a tank character of the light element. She carries the HP party buff, meaning she is an excellent partner to pair with Ogma, while still having the power to eat him alive thanks to elemental advantage. She also basically replaces Marina, as she is arguably better in every aspect, including not being weak to earth. In the battle for a HP tank for your team, FP will best Marina every time it isn't a mono water team. Everyone who isn't in love with Marina as a character will probably reset her for FP. Now let's jump back to the point I mentioned about FP's range mode being worthless. Future Princess can do range damage or melee damage, and you can change her damage type by adding or removing a shield. Without the shield, she does range damage and it's pretty underwhelming. You sacrifice extra stats a shield can provide just to be able to shoot a beam from afar, with the only benefit to it being that it is a ranged attack, so if she was placed on your ranged team, she would benefit from the ranged party buff. But given she isn't a damage class to begin with, she offers very little boost to your overall DPS. Try it if you want, but I can't see anyone not using the shield. The benefits are far too good with almost zero drawback. Equipping a shield turns her into a melee damage dealer, but more important than that is that you get a ton of extra stats from the shield. Take for example this shield I have equipped currently. Not only does it carry defensive stats, it also carries weapon skill regen speed, skill damage, and even some elemental damage. The extra stats alone should be enough to make you equip a shield all the time. Do take note that the last move in her melee combo is actually a ranged shot, the same type of shot she does if you don't equip a shield. Next up is her weapon skill and the necessity of her exclusive weapon. Her weapon is very needed as it has two important factors to it. First, it turns her into a pseudo healer. With her weapon in hand, FP can heal your squad whenever she attacks. It isn't an out of this world heal, but it is enough to keep your team topped off in between fights during the story segments. And this small heal along with her chain skill is usually enough for most teams to not need to carry a dedicated healer. The second reason her exclusive weapon is necessary is because the weapon skill is insane. When it connects, it is one of the few skills that can inflict a status break with a single use. Generally, it takes 2 or more weapon skills for a character to trigger a break, but for some reason, FP's skill is able to do it in one try. This will lead to fights between 2 FPs in modes like the Colosseum, being decided by who has the most weapon skill regen speed. So while she is a tank, you'll be looking for a shield and accessories that give you the most weapon skill regen speed along with defensive stats. The final part of her kit worth mentioning is her chain skill. In a rare instance, her chain skill does 0 damage to the enemy, but the effect is insane. Each character on your team will negate all damage they receive for the next 3 hits or 20 seconds, whichever comes first, and they will be healed by 20%. This is an insane exchange for the price of doing no damage with a chain skill. The chain skill and HP party buff are the only reasons FP isn't favored for raids, as raids are all about doing the most damage in a set time frame. But as I said, given we are still in the early game, using her to fill a slot on one of your raid teams will suffice for now. The last thing I'm going to mention is her value in every other game mode. FP's power is insane for every game mode outside of raid. Everything in her kit is designed to keep you alive and kicking, and she is probably going to be your lead character so long as you want the best, no matter what kind of element your team is until the Earth God arrives. For chapters 10 and 11 especially, where most if not all the enemies are of the dark element, FP's value goes through the stratosphere. There are countless stories online of people not being able to clear these chapters until they acquired FP. And make no mistake, these chapters are extremely difficult. They aren't impossible without her, but it is no easy feat as she cushions the blows of these chapters by a lot. If you were around long enough, you may remember I made a video titled The Best Heroes in Guardian Tales for Nintendo Switch. With the dawn of Future Princess, we now have 3 out of those 4 characters in the game. The last one is tentatively due at the end of the year, and that is the only one who can challenge FP for the number 1 spot. I think that about covers everything I wanted to talk about when it comes to Future Princess. She is coming with a huge patch that includes the training room. And as I know a lot of people will ask about it, yes, she is a great candidate to let live in the training room. But you can look forward to more about the training room specifically in my next video. Until next time, my name is Kujets and you can expect more Guardian Tales videos in the future.